Everybody, it's all missions of talking about parenting. So we'll be right things started with our. We're gonna hang. I'll see you guys. Good evening. Welcome of Dialogue. Tonight is second 2020. You guys join evening. I'm topic as well. I guess on tonight, and I'm just give me adjust this audio. Got these headphones. Can you hear me now better? Give me once. Hold on. I'm taking this. I can't be sounding like. All right, is now. Let's see. Bad shots. Right. All right. Is that out of bounds? Man, hold on. Somebody needs to hear this, and we gonna talk about some good stuff. Okay, give me a second. Is that good? I'm not even hearing. Sound check, and the sound still don't work. I still sound. Hold on. All right, guys. Yeah. All right, is that better? I don't even hear myself. Mic test 2, test 1. Can you guys hear me now? Is that better? Is that much better? All right. All right, y'all. I'm sorry, my bad. I did a little sound check and everything, and somebody need to hear what we're gonna talk about tonight, and everything's working against us, but we good now. So we are back. I'm so excited about tonight's topic. It is parenting in a pandemic. We're going to talk about parenting in a pandemic on tonight, and I have some awesome and amazing guests on deck for me that are going to help join and guide this conversation. So you guys already know how we operate, how we start out. Let's do a quick check-in. Where are you guys watching from tonight?
Where are you guys watching us from tonight as we embark upon this evening's awesome topic of parenting in a pandemic? Where are you guys watching from on tonight? Flip a couple things here. Give me 1 second. 1 second here. All right. South Bend, Indiana, D-Town, DMV. Can you guys still hear me good? I'm still working on sound over here. Am I good? Somebody let me know in the comments. Click one more thing. I think I'm good. Okay. All right. So tonight we are talking about parenting in a pandemic. And I'm going to bring on some awesome and amazing guests to join me in this conversation. As you guys know, I am an educator by profession, but unfortunately, I have not been blessed as of yet to be a physical parent, but I am a surrogate parent. But I wanted to bring some people on to help me talk about this thing on tonight, because this is a very important topic. This is something that we've never done before. We've never had to do before. So I need to bring some people to the table who can help me lead and guide this conversation. So I have 4 amazing panelists who are going to join me on tonight. We're going to talk about this thing, share some insight, share some other information as well that we may have embarked upon as we go through this thing. And we're going to make it pop. So give me 1 second to change a couple things. I want to start off tonight's dialogue activator. So tonight's dialogue activator is simple. Why should we be grateful for our parents? Why should we be grateful for our parents? Why should we be grateful for our parents? So if you're watching live tonight and I'm asking the dialogue activator, we start off every week with an activator. Why should we be grateful for parents? Put in the chat for me as I'm going to prepare to bring my guests on. Give me 1 second to click here. Click here. Why should we be grateful for our parents? Set this up. I know I'm a one-man show over here. Give me 1 second to get this set up. Well, while y'all are still thinking and typing, I'm gonna tell you why I think we should be grateful for mine. Parents are a godsend. And when you work in the field of education like I do each and every day, I constantly, and I came up with this question specifically for something I witnessed today. I work in a high school, and oftentimes as an educator, I'm forced to have those conversations with scholars on why they should be grateful for their parents. I see so much disrespect and lack of respect for parents, as I saw today dealing with a scholar that it just kind of struck a nerve with me. And it just made me raise the question tonight of why should we be grateful? I'm grateful because mine gave me life. Mine stands by me. Mine have been there for me through thick and thin. So just kind of want to have a moment of gratitude tonight to kick off tonight's topic of why we should be grateful for our parents. So that's why I posed the question tonight. That's why I'm asking. Yeah, if you didn't answer, I answered it for everybody, and we're gonna keep this train moving and keep this thing moving and bring on my awesome guests. So give me 1 second to bring them on. My 4 amazing guests who are going to be joining me on tonight. I'm gonna bring them in, and we're going to jump right into this thing. Give me 1 second. Got my guest right there. All right, if you've been watching me the last few weeks, you know how I do this thing. So I can't bring my guests on my show and not bring them on the right way. So if you give me 1 second, I got to have some claps and stuff for my people when they come on. Because this is major. So, come to tonight's dialogue. I have some amazing people joining me. I'm so excited. I had to get the clappers out for my people who are going to be joining me on tonight. And I'm so grateful and so excited to have each and every one of them. So, joining me tonight, I have Shahimda Natawala. I have Mr. Ben James Brown. I have Miss Kim Strange. And I have Mr. Marcus Morrison. Good evening, y'all. How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? Holler back at me.
We're good. How are you?
You guys hear me good?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Hold on, because I can't hear y'all. Give me 1 second. What is going on tonight? I'm gonna get this thing right, y'all. Hold on. Okay, can y'all hear me?
Mhm.
Okay, I can't hear y'all. Hold on, y'all.
Come on, microphone.
Can we hear each other?
I can hear you guys.
I can hear y'all too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we good?
We good. Are you good?
We're good. Yeah.
Oh,
Are
what
you
happened?
good? We're good.
So these are new AirPods because you can't keep up with them. So I'm working through the kinks of trying to get them working. So I apologize. My bad. It's all good. I love y'all. I'm taking them out so we won't have no more issues. How y'all feeling?
Let God have his way. Let God have his way, baby.
He's gonna have it regardless. He's gonna have it regardless. Somebody sing us a song. Now we're not singing tonight. We talking about some good stuff on tonight. This parenting in a pandemic thing. I have 4 amazing guests on tonight. I'm just gonna go around on the screen. You guys can share with everybody who you are, where you're from, and tell us a little bit about your babies or your young adults for some of you, or some of your younger babies that really are young adults. So I'll start with Shy. Let's go, Shy.
I'll go first. So my name is Shahenda. I am currently in Southlake, Texas. I have a 9-year-old big girl. She's 9, going on probably about 29. And so I am an educator. I'm actually a behavior specialist for Birdville ISD. And it's just she and I.
Awesome. Thank you for joining tonight, cousin.
No problem.
PJ, it's on you.
All right. I'm Ben James Brown. I have a 15-year-old, soon to be 16. So I'm in those years. He's in high school right now, and it's a different experience. We're from California, Los Angeles. Been out in DC now for 7 years, and so it's been quite a journey. I'm really excited to share our journey and our story with everybody that's on.
Awesome. Thanks, Ben. Kim, come on, join in the
Hi.
conversation.
I'm a recent stay-at-home mom. This is my 3rd year being home with my kids. I'm a 15-year educator. I have a 8-year-old, 11-year-old, and a 15-year-old who will be 16 in a couple of months. And so life is very busy, but it's definitely a teaching experience.
Definitely. Thank you for coming on tonight, Kim. I know you're busy, so I'm glad I have you at least for an hour to just chime in and help us guide this conversation. Marcus, come on, brother, close us out.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Marcus G. Morton. I am originally from Chicago, Illinois, now living in Atlanta, Georgia. I have 3 kids, 8, 7, and 4. And they're all going on 80, 70, and 40. I am an HR director for a transportation company here in Georgia. I'm also the worship pastor of Total Victory Worship Center in Georgia as well. My senior pastor is Angelique Simmons, and I am also a gospel artist as well. So I have all of those things going on along with being a parent.
Gotcha. So guys, listen, I'm very strategic with my guests. And so tonight I just came up with the topic of parenting, I wanted to bring on some individuals from across the spectrum. You heard they have some younger children, some older children, and some right in the middle. So I'm so excited to have just different lenses on tonight's topic of parenting in a pandemic. So I want to start tonight out kind of light. So I'm going to ask my guests. I threw this question in here driving home tonight. Just kind of stuff on a light moment. Recall a funny moment that has happened with you and your children since the pandemic started. So we're going to talk light tonight. I know some stuff has happened that has probably made you want to cuss, probably made you want to laugh, probably made you want to strangle your child. But just recall one moment that has just made you just bawl out crying because you just didn't expect that to happen or come about that way. So anybody can jump in.
Yeah, I can jump in. I think it's been like a blessing and a curse because I am not an educator. I'm in finance. I've been in that for the last 20 years, and I manage people, but I don't manage my son. And I leave that up to the teacher. So educators, my hats off to you. I think when the pandemic first started, getting used to logging into Aspen where you go and check in your grades, I was used to him saying, "This is where I am. Look at my assignments. You can compare this to Aspen," as opposed to what was really going on inside of the classes. And so when that first report card came out, I said, "I thought we said we were good. This is what you showed me." And he said, "Yeah, well, it was just I don't know." And so it made me a bit more diligent in what I was inspecting when I would come home from work. Um, Through coaching sessions, he ended up becoming one of my other leaders, like my managers, where I came in with a roster of questions, let me analyze.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
I think we lost. Think we lost. We'll get him back. Internet connection. Okay, Shy, I'm gonna go to you.
Every day is funny in my house. I have a comedian that I live with, and she is watching, so I know if I say anything out of line or put too much of her business out on Facebook, we're gonna have a problem later. But I think the funniest things happen because of school, and it's always how stressed out she is and just her emotions, and she's so extra about being frustrated with being in school. And so not too long ago, she sent me a text message. She was doing some online learning, and so she said, "Ma, I have officially hit rock bottom." And I absolutely lost it. I'm thinking, at 9, where is rock bottom at 9? And where did you even get that from at
Right.
9? So it's little things like that that she says or that she does that is just so incredibly funny. It's very spur of the moment type stuff. But I mean, I could go on for days about the funny stuff that has happened since the pandemic started. I mean, we've been in the house together all day, every day. You see them in the bathroom to be able to get some peace. So, it's constant all day long.
Gotcha. So I'm sure it's there you got him back. There you go. You good, BJ? Did I get you back?
You got me back. Can you hear me?
Yeah, gotcha. Kim.
Yeah, I guess the other funny thing is he's taking up all my data, so I'm in and out all the time.
And why? Listen. That's an essential house tool right now. You got to have your data and you got to have your Wi-Fi. Listen, I get it. Marcus, you got 3. I know.
God bless you with 3.
listen, let me tell y'all something. If you follow me on social media, you'll see what my kids do. They're all 3 different individual kids. They all have 3 different personalities. It's kind of not, but God, with my last one, with my baby girl, he put everything he had into that one because that's the one that drives us crazy the most. So, for instance, yesterday, thankfully we have our own office. So in our office, my wife and I are able to work at the front, and we have workstations in the back for the kids for school. My 4-year-old, who was supposed to actually enroll in pre-K this year, to go to the building finally due to the pandemic, that changed everything. So I wasn't sending her. So I've been an educator as well, so I kind of know what to do, how to do. So, and I have plenty of educator friends that I'll be like, hello, how I do this. So my 4-year-old, all I did was set her out a paper to trace her name. Mm-hmm. She FaceTimes my pastor and said, "School is impossible. This is impossible." Now ask me how many times she traced her name.
How many times to trace her name, brother?
Once.
It was 5 lines, but
she
dropped everything. She said school is impossible, and we have a TV in the office, of course, for us. So she just walked around and got and sat down in front of the TV.
Oh my gosh.
And then yesterday, they sitting in the back. All of a sudden, my son starts singing, I always feel like somebody's watching me. So him and my daughter singing this. Like, who's watching you? Like, what's happening in your lives? I don't understand. You know, you don't need privacy. You're good.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Nonstop action. Nonstop.
That's a reality show, but we're going to come back to that. Kim, I know. I already know. Something happened over there. I just feel it, that it just made you like, okay, God, like, really?
I would have to say, with me, my 8-year-old, she gives me a run for my money. She gives everybody a run for their money. And so she came up to me midway and she's like, Mama, I'm not going to inconvenience you. I'm just going to go ahead and make this easy for you. I ain't going back when school starts. And I'm like, hold on. Now you got to go to school. She's like, oh no, it's going to be an inconvenience. You don't need to be worried about that. And she had it all figured out. And I'm looking at her, no, sister, you going to school. Somebody got to go to school. And this is every day, and then I got my middle baby who is, she act like, we're upsetting her because she wants to go to school because she's ready to go to middle school. So it's something new. And baby sister telling her, girl, no, you need to go and stay home. Like, I'm telling you, you're going to like being at home with mama. And it's just a trip because over here, this 8-year-old is dictating everybody's moves and helping her older siblings make their decisions. She didn't have no problem talking her 15-year-old brother into staying home. He was ready. But, it's just funny watching them and seeing their reactions during all of this because I think we're stressing about it and worried about them. But in my case, mine are guiding me to be a better person through the whole thing.
Now, I hope y'all don't mind since y'all talking about them. I had to at least shout them out. So I'm gonna give them their moment. So y'all, this is what they talking about right here.
Oh!
So I had to bring the clan out. Because you got to give them their 15 minutes. So since we talking about them, I might as well show who they are. So I did, go swipe some pictures real quick. So as I tell them, I said what up. I'm thankful for them, but I had to give them their little moment to shine on the show tonight. Is that all right?
That's all right. That's all right. That's all right. We was waiting.
I had a whole conversation with you.
So in the midst of all of this, from your perspectives, how has the family unit become? How important has the family unit become in the midst of all of this? From your own perspectives, how important has the family unit become again?
Well, for us, family has always been big for me and my wife. My parents separated when I was 8, divorced when I was 18. Her mom was a single mom. So, for us, family is literally everything. Mm-hmm. And we want to create that dynamic for our kids. So they always, no matter where we are, no matter what we're doing, they want to be with us. They want to be around us. They want to do, whatever we're doing. Or if we could just be sitting down in a room doing nothing, they want to be right there. Mm-hmm. So it's just made us, even closer, I would say. We always have taught our kids love and affection and all of that stuff. So now it's just a little bit intensified. But then it's like, all right, go on. I love you too. All right, go on. Okay, I'm watching TV. You'll watch your TV. So, and somehow my 4-year-old still wakes up at 3:30, 4 o'clock and got to just be next to me or my wife. So
and that's Zaya.
You know it. Your little friend. That's your little friend.
Kim, how important has the family unit become again in the midst of all this for you guys?
I would have to agree with what he just said because I feel like we've always.
Yikes.
Whoa.
Hey, we sharing some good stuff, and I don't know what's happening. Shy, I'm going to go to you, and I'm going to come back.
Okay, well, I hope I don't disappear. But, the family has always been very important, but I think during this time, I think the importance of my extended family has, been pretty much more on the forefront of kind of our family unit at this point. You know, we don't normally get together a lot as a family, extended family wise. And so, you know, we may see some of them every now and then, but now because we can't, or because trying to get to them was different, it just made that need for that family connection a lot stronger. It made me miss my cousins even more. It made me want to be around my aunts and uncles even more and hug my grandmother even more, just simply because we can't right now. And you know, that part of the family, you know, you always really think about the family that's within your household, but this time it hit different. And so it really made me and, you know, my daughter really kind of take a step back and realize how important our extended family is to us as well.
Right. You have to remember it's like getting back to this. This has really caused us to get back to the basics and during this pandemic of family is our foundation, and it really has made us love a little bit harder and stronger in the midst of all this. Because, like you said, being able to not go see grandma or big mama is hard for all of us. And when for me, I know it was hard. This thing broke in March, and ever since my grandmother died, every May I go home for Mother's Day. That's just something that I always have done for the last 7 years, and I wasn't able to do that this year. So it made it a lot more challenging because it's like, man, I just want to see my mama, say, hey, girl, hey, give her a hug and a kiss and spend some time with a love on her and go about my way. And I couldn't do that. Ben, did you want to jump in?
You know what? I feel the same way, especially when you have family from the West Coast and you're here. It's just my son and I. And so it's even more important that every moment that we get to spend with them, that we spend with him. He had the privilege of spending the entire summer, you know, down there with the family. And so I'm extremely blessed that I was able to be there with him. I think that also the time that we've been able to spend together, it's given me time to get to know him on a different level and for us to have some really tough, crucial conversations, you know, that we wouldn't have with all of what's going on when he's at school and with his friends, et cetera. So I really appreciate this time.
Yeah, awesome. That leads me to my next question. I know that now that we got back to the foundation, this next one, parents became at-home educators real quick. How was that for each of you?
Hard.
Like, you know,
it was tough.
As an educator, I went out thinking, 2-3 weeks, you know, we'll be back in the building. You know, we really didn't expect this to be like this, and now it's happened. How was that for you guys?
I think it was a learning experience on the parent side as well as the teacher side, because you all had to do some things that you've never had to do before as well. So I know you said it earlier, but hey, you know, kudos to all educators because that's not easy. So it was just kind of getting the rhythm of it as far as like making sure stuff was turned in, and we got to use this app to do that, this app to do that. So I think those are smaller things, or you know, sometimes the teacher is just, you know, a bit overwhelmed and couldn't answer your question right then, or you know, just those are just different things. So it was another level of patience and another level of grace, if you will, that needed to be given or extended because, you know, we all were navigating this thing for the first time. So it was good.
And it's great you said that because it adds to, Kim, I made this question for you specifically because you and I have known each other for 25 plus years because we've known each other since before high school. And what you did when we broke, it just made me like, wow, like she went there. Tell everybody what you did to transition quickly when COVID broke.
Well, when we got the exciting news we would be returning, I opened Quarantine Academy. And it became a big deal at my house. I mean, we had spirit shirts, we had our own motto. They had school lunch like they did every day. Everything. I mean, they even had ID badges. I mean, it was a big deal because my mindset was, if I don't make this as consistent, as serious as possible, then they're going to blow this thing off.
Exactly.
And, you know, my thing was, like I said, I've been an educator for 15 years before staying home, but I didn't teach high school, middle school, and elementary. And so I'm learning too, you know. So it was a learning curve for me, you know. And so even now we're getting ready, you know, even though they go into their respective schools virtually, as of Tuesday, Quarantine Academy is opening again. And so they are ready, and we have our own SRO. Like, it's a big deal over here because they need to know that, you know, hey, you at school.
Kim had late slips, y'all. Like, she went there. Like, my girl, she if Quarantine Academy was real, they had late passes, school lunch with the trays and everything. I loved it.
That is amazing. Yeah. My God. I couldn't do it. I mean, I tried. I really put forth effort into creating a schedule and making sure that Kalia was up on time and making sure, you know, but at the same time, I'm teaching too. I'm working as well as trying to teach her. And so, you know, teaching other people's children and then teaching your children are two completely different things. You would think you would have more grace and compassion for your own children, but I didn't. I mean, my patience was here, and it was just so difficult. I just couldn't.
If Johnny had 5 apples.
It's kind of like, why don't you know this? Like, this is simple. You should get this.
Right.
But, you know, but you wouldn't, my kids at school, of course, I wouldn't do that with. You know, you're patient, you take time, but with your own children and trying to teach them, and then the way they learn and how they have to learn, it's too much.
It is a lot.
And my son is
it's definitely a lot.
Zeke is creative, so you'll look up, Zeke will be playing drums, or Zeke will be gone. So, you know, my son is, Zoe is now, you know, we did similar to what you did. You know, we did the whole just being at home thing, but now for this school year, when they started, my kids are in uniforms every day. They're up every morning. They are dressed. I mean, greased
at
up.
home? Oh,
yes.
Yeah, they're in uniforms because, you know, they have to get up in the morning.
I see you, cousin.
We still gotta
I can't even get mine to get up and take a bath and put on clothes, let alone a uniform, like an actual outfit.
Oh, the whole polo shirt.
Oh, goodness.
Skirt, the pants, yeah. They're real.
That is great.
So you want to teach them early. You gotta get up. You gotta dress for success. You gotta be ready. You gotta, you have to be prepared. And I mean, don't think it's easy. It was easy,
right?
But you know, it's just something you have to stick with and keep going and keep training.
Right.
BJ,
y'all are amazing.
You got a high schooler, BJ. How?
Yeah. It's been difficult. Like I said, it's been a blessing because I think when we first started, I was all over the place, and I've always managed a lot of folks, but managing him has been like the hardest thing in the world. But it's taught him a lot of discipline as well, and him taking initiative and things that he wouldn't typically take initiative to do. Like our teachers being trying to get used to, and get a flow of what they're doing, and so they may not be as responsive initially to the child. And as a parent, I would reach out to the teacher where that's flipped. He's now reaching out to the teacher. He's emailed the teacher. Hey, I missed this assignment. I didn't get this grade in. Can you please go back and look at your log? And so he's taking a different type of responsibility that he didn't take before. And that's a blessing. In the story that I started out.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
It's
the devil that got him again.
Every time he gets to this story,
it's the same little story.
That devil.
You know what? I believe it's a testimony in this story, and the devil don't want it to get out.
It's got to be.
Because every time we get to this story, the connection. Okay, he gonna be back. Okay, listen. COVID recalibration. what are some things you've had to do differently since this thing started? What are some things you've had to do differently as a parent since this thing started?
Well, one thing I've had to do differently is since being in the pandemic, I've had to learn how to loosen the reins.
Mm-hmm.
I've had to learn how to pick my battles. The things that, I felt like were important, be it on time, we structure activities during the day, that type of stuff. Just as the day would normally go, I would have to kind of relax that a little bit. I've had to take my approach with, the things that I allow her to do. And, she's stuck at home with really not a lot to do. So, my thing had to become, as long as you don't burn down the house, then go for it. But, prior to that, it was, make sure you pick up your stuff and clean up your room, and, make sure that if you pick something up, put it back where you got it from. And, those little things. Things you try and stick to, but as becomes like whatever, so that is what I've had to do. I have had to learn how to recalibrate my thinking, because it keeps me sane, by me trying to be so on it all the time, stresses me out even more. So I'm already stressed, the fact that I'm stuck in the house with her all day. So now I have to, do something that helps ease my mind, which is kind of back up off of her a little bit. And so I think that's the biggest thing for me, is retraining myself and retraining my mind.
Kim, what about you?
Mine has been, I've definitely had to learn to give up control.
Yes.
Because I want to be in control of everything. I want everything to have a plan and go this way, just like this. And my kids and my husband are used to that. But the pandemic straight up showed me, girlfriend, you ain't in charge of nothing.
Not a thing.
So I had to learn how to adjust accordingly, because at first I was getting frustrated and I was getting mad, but it really wasn't anybody to get mad at. It's just, me against this pandemic. So I've just had to learn to adjust and make the most of it, because if I'm upset about this and my kids are already feeling some kind of way, then we're in a mess.
Right.
Yes.
Like right now, my 4-year-old's supposed to be in the bed. She upstairs flipping. I hear her
See, but and it's at that moment where you have to say, you know what?
Right.
As long as you don't break a leg, right, I'm gonna let you do that right now.
Exactly.
Can be down.
Well,
go to bed.
Oof.
Okay, Lord. Which battle am I gonna pick today?
Right. Which one is worth it at this point?
So, children ask a lot of questions. How did you explain what's going on to your children? They will never see this happen again in their lifetimes, and we will never see this happen again in their lifetimes. How did you break this thing down to where they can really understand what this pandemic actually has caused and some of the ramifications of it?
So for us, Calvin, you know how my family is. So, my mom would have been down here several times by now. And my kids love their grandmother. They love my mom. They love the grandma here, but they want to see their family. So that part, that's when we had to explain, what was happening and what was going on. And my niece was also a freshman at Spelman, and we had to go grab her and, get her off campus early and all of those different things. So all of those things happening so fast, it made us have to sit down and have the real conversation about what this is and what it looks like, why you can't go to school, why you can't go back to the grocery store with us, why you can't go to the park right now, you can't go, we can't go to Chuck E. Cheese, we can't go sit down at the restaurants. You made us have to have that conversation. So in that, we just had to get creative in the things that, we do here, as far as we always sit at the table and eat together, but, if it meant I had to go get the takeout, their favorite restaurants that they were used to get from time to time, we cook here, but, their treats and things like that they like.
Right.
No, y'all can't go get ice cream. Daddy will go get it and I'll bring it back, kind of thing. So we just had to adjust, and, they understood. They didn't like it, but
they want to go outside.
Right. They still want to see my kids are very affectionate. Why you can't go back to church? Why you can't go to church? Because My kids are church babies, so they can't go to church. It's stuff that they like to do. So we had to get creative in those little avenues. So making sure the church is set up before we have to go and those kind of things.
Gotcha.
I think initially for us, she actually taught me a lot about the pandemic. Just simply because, always been around my dad. My dad watches CNN all the time. The news is always on. So she's listening and she's hearing things and she's picking things up. And so, the main question, that she had was about school, because that is really her only time of social interaction. She doesn't have a big group of friends that she hangs out with. I mean, she's 9, they don't play outside all the time. So her group of friends is at school. And so, trying to navigate the questions about, well, when I go back to school, why I can't hug my friends? Why I can't share my school supplies? Why I can't, those kind of things were the biggest questions. She was very conscious about, when we talked about being safe, now that we can go to the store, here are some things that we need to do to be safe. And so a lot of her questions came from, well, tell me, how do I not get this? Because I don't want this. Whatever this is that's going on, that's got me not going to school. I can't see my friends. I can't, hug my family. I can't do this and that. Just tell me how not to get it. That was her main concern and her main questions, So, and that was kind of difficult, to navigate as well and try to get her to understand from a 9-year-old perspective. But I think once she got it and once she understood, she kind of ran with it. And right now it's not really any other questions other than just tell me how I don't get this.
Good. I would say at our house, it was the same thing as yours. My kids really were the ones coming to me with all the information, because it's really a hard topic to approach, and we really don't know a lot about what's going on ourselves. And so when they start coming to me from the news, it's like, Mama, did you know that this and this and this is going on? And I'm like, yeah. And then we would talk about it, and that made it easier for me because I didn't know how much I should go into it and, how much to leave out. But then their main question to me was, so Mama, we're not getting to go on a vacation this year? Yeah. And it's like, no. But I see some of my friends and I said, well, that's fine. All the time I tell you, everybody does things differently, but we're not going this year because all the things you're telling me you see on TV, I want you to be safe. I want me to stay safe. And so there's always next year. But it was those kind of questions. And like you said, too, with your daughter, especially the school thing, because, they come home frustrated sometimes about school, but not seeing their friends all those weeks. I could tell after a certain time, it really started wearing them down. It was hurtful.
This school thing is huge, especially from the educator side. I've been seeing scholars come pick up Chromebooks and stuff like that here, and they're going through my kids will tell me, Green, school was my outlet. School was my escape from being home. I would rather be at school than be at home. I already don't want to be at home. Now you're telling me I gotta stay at home all day, log on for all these classes, do all of this work, and I can't go outside. I can't see my friends. I can't go to the corner store. I can't do this. I can't do that. So these babies are missing their friends. They're missing their teachers. They're missing school, period, because that's their safe haven for most of them. They are going through this thing because they want to go to school.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is social too. They miss that being able to socialize with people and children their age, being stuck at home, especially with Kalia and myself. I mean, so she's forever in grown folks' business because it's just adults. So, she has grown a lot over the last 6 months and matured a lot because she's not around those 9-year-olds and 10-year-olds. She's around adults. And so she's hearing adult things and she's, in adult conversation and she's doing a lot of those things. And so she misses that time of hanging out with my friends at recess and just talking about nothing and playing. And so that is a big part of it too, just being able to socialize and have that emotional connection to children their age.
And And Shaw, you said something. Good point, Mayor Robin. They still do miss their friends. Yes, the socialization aspect. Yeah, that is so true. And I didn't realize until you said it. It has been 6 months. It's been half a year that these kids have not been in school. And as a parent, I know if you're like me on the educator side, the parent lens is the exact same thing. I loathe not being able to have the answer. So if a child or a kid in my building asks me a question, I pride myself on having an answer for them. And this is an area where I don't have the answers. And because they're not okay, I'm not okay because I can't answer their simple questions. So it's definitely a lot for them, for us. And I'm gonna speak very educated. We miss them too. Like, we know y'all want them out the house. We miss them too, and it's real out here, like for the parents and for the teachers. I've even had to have some of my colleagues understand you can't work a 9 to 5 in this capacity anymore, because for that particular parent who has to work all day, and I just got home at 5 o'clock because I'm an essential worker. This may be the only time I have to call Mr. Green at 6 o'clock at night to ask him questions about different work or whatever the assignment was for the day. Because so you have to have unconventional hours as an educator and even as a support staff member like myself, because that's probably the only time the parent can call to get some feedback. So you can't just say I'm off at 5 o'clock and we're in the midst of a pandemic, and kids and parents still have questions about certain things. So we have to remember on the educator side, our why are we in this profession? Why are we doing what we do? And thanks to great parents like you guys, we're linking up together to work through this thing together, which is great. As a parent, what has become your rose and what has become your thorn as we continue to move through this thing? So take a moment and think about these last 6 months. Cousin, I see you already.
You know, I already got it. I got plenty.
Like what's been your rose and what's been your thorn as we continue to navigate this thing? You already got it, cousin.
I got it. Got plenty. So my rose is actually being able to spend that quality time with her. Time that we wouldn't probably normally have spent before, and being able to actually give her the non-stressed, not frustrated, clear-headed mom. Because in the past, I'm coming home from work, so I'm tired. I'm probably already thinking about, the next day and what I have to do. And then, since it's just she and I'm her only source of entertainment. I'm her only source of somebody else in the house. And so, and sometimes, you get frustrated and, you really don't put your all into some of the things that you normally would if you weren't as stressed out. So that's my biggest thing, is that I have been able to relax. I have been able to really center myself in my thoughts so that she gets the whole me. And, she doesn't get bits and pieces every now and then, when I have to go do something. So that's my rose. My thorn,
or thorn.
All of it. Really having to find ways to keep her engaged and engaged independently. Mm-hmm. Because, I'm not a very creative person. And so having to come up with stuff for her to do, and having to, keep her from not being bored, and allow her to, okay, well, let's go figure out how to, play this game, or let's go bake something, or let's draw, or whatever it may be. Being creative and having to continuously do that all the time is the biggest thorn for me, because that's not me. I'm a very basic, just let me sit back and watch TV and I'll be fine. But coming up with, things to be creative, I'm not the one. So
you gotta it's like a dance, because you gotta let her lead sometimes.
Yeah, and you know what? And I have done that. That's loosening the reins. Mm-hmm. And I have done that. And she has some ideas of stuff that she wants to do, and I'm just like, okay, normally I would say no. That's like, we're not doing that. But because, it's either do that or she's constantly mom, I might as well give in. So that's just the biggest thing, trying to keep her occupied.
Yeah.
That's tough for me.
Yeah.
That's
No,
right.
I tip my hat off because I can't. Yeah. Who's next? What's been your rose and your thorn? I'm praying for you, cousin. I got you.
Please.
I think my rose has been similar. I feel like this time off has definitely given me a chance to get to know my kids, really know them, learn what they really love doing, enjoy doing, them getting to know me. Because during school, it's always so busy. It's just like a robotic machine. So, yes, I'm talking to them. Yes, I'm checking on them, but it's so robotic that I'm really not taking the time to get to understand what they saying they're like that they like, or getting to know more about it, versus now it's like all you got is time. So with that time, I'm learning to be more intentional in listening, and them learning to listen to me, and we're finding out things we like to do, the same, and do it together. So using this time to really build on that and strengthen our family, because I always say I thought we were close until this pandemic came. And now it has, made us even closer. And I would say the thorn is kind of like a two-edged sword, because the thorn is really the same thing. Because as a mom, I felt like I was doing everything, you feel like they always come to mom. And now with this pandemic, now that I'm having to be the whole schoolhouse too, it's like, golly, wait a minute. Like, let me have a break,
Right. Give me 5 minutes.
And they like, well, we want to ask you. And it's like, no, go ask your daddy. And so that has been the thorn for me.
I don't have all the answers. Go ask your daddy.
But you know what? But at least they have somebody else to go ask. Like, what happens when there's no one else to go ask?
You solo dolo, cuz.
It's just it's constant.
Hey, if they can't get you, ask Google and ask Siri.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yep.
Google it, because I
I
don't
think
know.
for me though, my rose has been, I've just been loving spending time with them and getting to know, just watching their little personalities grow, and even just watching how they interact with one another, because they're really, really close. And my middle kid, she's so chill. She'll get a book and just go in her room and read it from cover to cover. It's little things like that I've been loving to see how they're evolving. My thorn is their stomachs are bored. They want to eat every 15 minutes.
Lord.
Like, I know we cook around here, so I make big breakfast and all of that kind of stuff. And they could have 5 pancakes and sausage and juice and everything else. 40 minutes later, I'm so hungry.
I'm hungry. Look, and be starving.
Can I have something else to drink? No. Sit down. So them always being hungry is really difficult.
Oh, yes.
Yes, that's
Hey,
a
let me
thorn.
tell you, my rose has absolutely been how tenacious this guy is. I was so frustrated a moment ago, and I said, I can't figure out this whole phone thing. And he said, don't worry, I'll set you up. I got this. And he put me in his room, in his office, and I'm good. And so this wasn't him before. It was always come to me and I'll help you figure it out. He's figuring out things on his own now, and he's making do with what he has. So I think that's definitely my rose. My thorn would be these games. This boy can play games from the time he wakes up until the time he goes to sleep, and really create a schedule around what that needs to look like has definitely been the thorn for me.
Oh my goodness. It's amazing how this pandemic has really given a lot of time to think and be clear in our thinking, and not have it clouded by the hustle and bustle of life.
Right.
We're always so much on the go. I got to do this. I got to do that.
Yes.
I got to do that. So you don't get to spend as much time with your kids like you want. You don't get to you get to relearn your kids all over again in a sense, because you're in a different space. Honestly, they're in a different space than they were 6 months ago, because this pandemic has really matured many of them at their young ages to think outside the box, to think more creatively, for some of them to even think on their own. Okay, let me get up and log on because I don't want to hear mom or dad yelling or screaming at me. But let me get up and especially for somebody said the kids got to wear uniform. Let me get up. I already know what I got to wear, so I can map my morning out and stage it out strategically.
Y'all watch this. Watch this. I don't mean to interrupt you, Cal.
This is Zaya.
No.
Z.
Just say hi to everybody. Say hi to everybody. Come on. No, come on.
Come on.
Come on. They over here now. Come on. Oh, now you want to be shy.
Oh, that's Michael Jackson.
That's parenting in the pandemic.
That's
it, right there.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's parenting in a pandemic.
That's it.
Yes, it is. Yes.
Somebody, my cousin said she just told my cousin Bailey, when she don't know the answer, go ask Alexa.
I know that's right.
Mary Robin said, go call your granny.
Call them.
Or Google it. No, this is we're in the technology. Y'all think about this. We're all of a certain age. We didn't have the internet like this when we were coming up. So these kids have access to so many resources that we didn't have. I'm gonna date myself. They used to go to the library, pull out their long brown drawer, flip through those index cards.
Flip through the cards. Yes.
Flip through the cards to find the right book to cite the source and the author. They can get on Google now and click this and click that. And it's just it's just a totally different time space that we're in than we were 20 years ago.
Right.
I'm gonna say this is a great discussion for all parents to hear. Thank you all for sharing. This is good. Yo, this parenting in a pandemic thing is serious, and guys, if you're watching, we're just having dialogue. We're just having a family chat about this thing and laughing and giving off good advice. And that's what I'm glad I had these guests on tonight. Talk about
parents don't need to be so hard on themselves.
Yes.
Parenting does not come with a manual. You don't know from 1 minute to the next what's going to happen or what's going to go on. Don't beat yourself up. We don't have all the answers. Some of this stuff is trial and error for us too. The only thing that we can do is be the person that we needed, in adults for our kids. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Right.
we gotta, remember not to be so rough and so hard on ourselves as well. And
That's right.
take it day by day.
That's true. I didn't, I always thought, well, what is she going to lose as far as development wise and not being in school and, those type of things and were big things for me. But I had to realize that whatever she lost in development or academics, she gained in connections. She gained in love, and she gained in knowledge, and she gained in, from being around the house with her grandparents and with myself. And so she gained a lot more than what she was losing academically, because that was my thing. I'm like, you need to be on flashcards, you need to be on reading all day long, you need to, because you got to keep that up. You don't want to lose that. But I feel like what she has gained has made her a better person, and the knowledge that she's gained too. And so I had to quit beating myself up, because I was like, I'm a bad parent if I don't keep her in this space. Like if I let her stay up all night, or if I let her, be on the phone or the internet. But, the stuff that she was learning and the stuff that she was gaining inside and as a person was way more valuable to me than, reading on the next grade level or something of that sort. So,
and I just put the question up. Y'all were already going there, so just keep talking.
What are some encouraging words? Oh,
y'all are guiding the conference. This is why I love doing this thing. Y'all are guiding my questions without even knowing. So keep talking.
You know what, Kyle? I was thinking about how and I'm dating myself, when I was, back in the day when I was 7, 8, I was the turnkey, child. I go home, I make dinner, lunch, for myself while my parents were at work.
That was me.
And I was always scared before this pandemic, am I disabling, and not enabling him to be sufficient and to be independent, because I was so independent at such a young age myself. And I think because of this pandemic, he's been able to show me that he is capable of taking care of himself, and he is capable of pulling up what he needs to. Sometimes I come home from work and he's like, it's going to be okay. These are so he's talking and counseling me, in how to have some relief, at the end of the day. And so I'm really thankful that this time has come where he's been able to take tools himself and teach me, these things every day, or at least most days. We'll sit down and we'll discuss what he's seen in the news versus what I've seen, and we'll have a conversation about it. And I feel like I'm talking to a colleague, or I'm talking to a peer of mine. That's how much he's grown, where I couldn't imagine that before the pandemic. And so it's a wonderful thing.
That's awesome, man. My mom was watching. She said parents are the first teachers. Like that
that's true.
That's very true.
And when your child labeled you as a bad parent, they watch other parents. So parents you never know what lens the child is watching you from, as far as a parent goes, because if they don't get it from you, they'll get that education and things from somebody else. So that parents are the first teachers is great, Mom. Thanks for chiming in. Kim, you were next. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, you're fine. My encouraging words would be to keep a positive attitude. And the reason I say that is because our kids are a reflection of us. So if we mad about it, they gonna be mad about it.
Yes.
If we excited about it, they're gonna be excited about it. Yeah. So I have made it a point to make the best out of it, to keep a positive attitude about this thing, and when they eventually do go back to school, I want them to still have a positive attitude, not go into this thing negative, not go into it scared or afraid of the unknown. And so, yes, they have questions. Yes, I have questions. But on my end, as being mom and teacher, I need to make sure that I keep a positive attitude, because they are looking at me, and whichever way I go, they going behind me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a good comment right there at the bottom.
I was gonna say, yeah.
That's really good. That my children have learned how to cook, clean, craft, sew, party planning, etc. I mean, the things that these children have gained and learned during this time is absolutely amazing. I mean, this is stuff that they probably wouldn't have learned before. And they have to learn how to make it without certain things right now, and they have to learn how to fend for themselves at certain times. And so that is really, really good that they've learned those things.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Exactly. Before you paid somebody to teach them, or they went to a class to learn that, or they learned it elsewhere. But now, as a parent, you're able to teach your children these things, and that time spent is amazing too. So that's really good.
Yeah, and that pray over your children is important too.
Yes, please.
It's so important because they're so into whatever it is they're watching, or their friends or whatever. They're so impressionable. But praying over them and teaching them how to pray, themselves. So teaching that is going to be essential in all of this.
Exactly. I gotta ask this question. What are some things you rediscovered about parenting in the midst of all this?
That I don't want to do it again.
Hey.
I'm cool with the one that I have. We're good. I always thought that, right? I always I want to have another kid. I want to have some more children. Then I'll think, oh, no, I'm good. But now I know. I am certain I don't want to.
Good on that. Y'all can have that.
Yeah, done.
You know what? It's given me confidence though that I can do it. It's been really hard. My son, his mom passed away before he was even 2, and so I've been on my own since since before he was 2, and I've had a lot of time where I'm like, I don't know if I can do it, especially when I moved away from my family. Can I do it on my own? And I think that this time has taught me, and he's reaffirmed, you're good. You can do it. You're strong enough. we're good. We got this. And so I think that's what I've rediscovered, about parenting for me.
That's good. And that feels good too, to get that reassurance from your kids that it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah,
like you good.
absolutely.
You good. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Somebody was going. Oh, so I was reading. Someone sent me a text and said that this pandemic has really caused their child to get in touch with their emotions, and even them as a parent. So they've learned to take the pat on the back from when they feel like things aren't going right. And you said that son came up to him and just pat him like, "Dad, you got this," or we're going to get through this. Or even sometimes they have to remind us of simple things like it's going to be all right. Think about that first day when your child was at home for distance learning and you were frazzled because they couldn't get logged on properly. And they just click this and that, and they're on it. They're like, I got this. So it gives you a sense to breathe. It gives you a little bit. It gives you a little bit more strength to run the journey as a parent, because you guys are doing an amazing job, which is why I'm so glad that you guys said yes tonight. Just for those who don't know about this show, I started this a couple weeks ago, and I had this chart paper with like 30 topics on it. Every week I pray and say, okay, God, which direction do you want me to go in this week? Once God gives me the topic, then I say, okay, God, you show me who to invite on. So it's not by happenstance that you guys are on here tonight. God told me to reach out to you. And it could have been anybody, but I believe he's intentional with connections at this point in my life. Since I've turned 40, I'm very intentional about energy and connections and who I have in my circle and who I'm attached to. So when he said, reach out to Kim, reach out to Shahinda, reach out to Marcus, or reach out to BJ, I was like, okay, I'm gonna send this guy. It's on you. They gonna say yeah because you told me, but yeah,
it was a no-brainer.
That's how this thing worked out. So I'm thankful.
It was no question.
So just join me tonight, man. Like, this is like dope. Like, and I thought about the topic. I said, well, how do I flip it where it's not just a typical parenting discussion, and then all these questions just started to become downloaded like that. So I'm thankful that you guys are here. I got one last question before we get out of here. Have you expressed to your children the importance of social distancing and staying safe? And I'm asking that because I was driving today and I see more adults not practicing social distancing. You know, you in the store and somebody like right behind you and you're looking like 6 feet. Like,
you're right. Back up.
Okay, you back up a little bit. But how have you expressed to your children like the importance of these new parameters that we have to go through for however much longer this is?
I think go ahead.
No, absolutely, ladies first.
Well, thank you. I think that it was easy because of the fact that if you do not social distance and you do not keep yourself safe and wear a mask and wear hand sanitizers, you too could have COVID. So that alone sealed the deal by her, feeling or knowing that if I don't do these things, I'm going to get COVID. And so she keeps me on my toes about certain things, the hand sanitizer, wearing your mask, and, even little things like we had to go to the dentist. And so she said, that's a perfect way to get COVID-19, going to the dentist. So it's little stuff like that. We're in the store and, she's a rule follower. So it has really, really helped her stay on her toes. And, she keeps me in line. Like, the line says you can't walk that way, so don't go that way. Or, why is she so close to me? Or she don't have on a mask and so she herself has taken that on, and it has done more for me than I think I've done for her, as far as helping her and express the need and be really intentional about her moves when she's out and doing things.
Right.
So she's on it because she does not want to be sick, and so that alone seals the deal.
My kids have not been at a public place since this started. Nowhere.
Not even the grocery store?
No. Wow,
that's good.
like I would take them. I would just say, "Come on, y'all, let's get in the car and we'll go for a ride or something."
Okay.
Or go get ice cream or something like that. But they've not been inside of an establishment since COVID started. Thankfully we have a lot of land where we are. So they can just go outside in front and they can play amongst themselves.
Right.
They can go swimming. That kind of thing. But that's all in house. They have not been to any public place.
Well,
That is good.
And I thought I was
like,
shit going to Walmart.
Right.
Yeah.
We scared going to the grocery
You know what I'm
store.
saying? I'll go as the parent, me or my wife, or my in-laws, they'll go, but my kids,
Yeah.
if we in the car, either my wife or me will go in. They will not go in. I mean, we have masks and everything for them. I'm not here for it. Yeah.
Yeah, mine is the total opposite. I think initially I kept him in the house, and that's all. I think I'm the one who got him addicted to games the way that he is, because I wouldn't let him go anywhere. But when he traveled back to Vegas to stay with his grandparents, I was really nervous, and so I said, well, let me travel there. It was an opportunity for me to spend time with my family as well. And I was amazed at how he would pull out the sanitizer and say, hey, you touched this, make sure you put on. And I was really surprised that he was a bit more diligent than I was, and I'm out all the time because of my job. And so while he may not have experienced it, he hears what I'm talking about and what I do, and he's picked it up, and so I think that he is pretty diligent around what he needs to do when he goes to public places. When he was with his grandparents, he was there in Los Angeles. He went back. I mean, he's traveled all over the place, but he's really extra cautious, when he is at those places, and watching the news and whatnot, and being able to talk about it, I think has helped out tremendously as well.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. Wow. Well, Kim, did you go? I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I basically agree with everything everyone else said, but that the kids are more cautious now that they see so much of it on the news and everything. Because even if I cough, they'll run and get their mask and come back. And I'm like, really? Like, are we serious right now? And
yes, they do not play.
You can't be too careful. So, I mean, they are paying attention. And like BJ said, they are paying attention. And even though they act like they don't hear us, when it's really time, they do what they need to do.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
Uh-oh, special guest. I see him.
I know.
Oh!
Yeah. Say hi to the people, man.
Hey, what's up?
How's it going, man?
So cool.
I appreciate you getting that together.
He gets me to, so see, I'm disconnected. He keeps me connected. He keeps me on my toes. He does a good job.
Listen, I want to thank each and every one of you. I appreciate you taking the time tonight to come on Dialogues with Doc. This has been Parenting in a Pandemic. I'm going to go around and tell everybody how they can keep up with you if they want to follow you, keep up with you. I do have a dignitary on the show tonight. I'm gonna call him a dignitary because he's part of an initiative that about this parenting thing in DC. So I'm gonna start with you, BJ. Tell everybody about this initiative that you're a part of and how they can keep up with you.
So, hats off to Mayor Bowser, who launched an initiative. I'm a commissioner for the Mayor's Office of Father, Men, and Boys, and it was called Flip the Script. And so this happened last year. We're doing it again, and it was about depicting the negative images of Black males with their children, and how the Black males and males of color are really with their children, and we're here and we're involved and we're engaged. And so pictures were posted on buses and in metro stations and whatnot. And so I'm really appreciative of what she was able to do. And I'm looking forward to helping out with that campaign. Again, you can follow me at Ben James. It's my name, Ben James Brown, Ben James B on Instagram and Facebook. And again, I'm so appreciative to join this, be a part of this elite, group of parents who are doing such an awesome job with their children.
you. Who's next? One of my ladies.
I'll go next. I'm not into anything super important other than my child. So I don't have like an initiative going on. I'm just regular old Shahenda.
You a parent. So, that's important.
A parent. That's
you know what? That is true. I am a parent. And so the chronicles of my child are always documented on Instagram. So you can follow me on Instagram at Shahenda Ali and Shahenda Natawala on Facebook. That's pretty much it. Thank you, Calvin, so much for allowing me to be on and allowing to, talk about my likes and dislikes of a parent, or my struggles or strengths and all that good stuff. It always feels good to hear other people and to see what other people have going on. And so I appreciate it so much. I applaud you for having this platform. Like, this is amazing. I watch when you're on every Wednesday. And so it's so much good information that you're putting out there. And it's so much that the people can use, like right now. Like, we need this. We need the opportunity to speak and talk and meet other people and hear from other people as well. So I'm so incredibly proud of you. I love you to death, and I wish you nothing but the utmost success. See, parent.
Cousin, can I ask you one question though?
Yeah.
Can you tell the people what you broadcasting live from?
I'm in the bathroom. I'm in the bathroom broadcasting.
Parenting in the pandemic.
Why? Yes, because I know that she's on the side of this door. Right. I know she is, because the door is cracked. I know she's there. And so this is where I come to get my peace, my 5 minutes. And sometimes that doesn't work because she's knocking, she's looking underneath.
What did she tell you before the show started?
Oh, I better not talk. I better not slander her name. Yeah, see, and she doesn't like me posting stuff about her on Facebook. She doesn't like, me posting pictures, or, she doesn't want anybody to know what she does, but I tell it all. And then, people find out, and like somebody will say, oh yeah, I've seen your picture on Facebook. And then here it goes. Yeah. So I am in the bathroom. This is where you can find me 98% of the time.
Hilarious.
I love it. Marcus, go talk to people.
You can find me on Facebook at Marcus G. Morton. You can also find me on my ministry page there, Marcus G. Morton Ministries, at Marcus G. Morton on Instagram and Twitter as well. And Calvin, thank you. And I'm proud of you because I remember us discussing this and discussing how you wanted to roll this out. And I'm just happy that you did it. So congratulations to you.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
A huge undertaking. And you can also find me on Apple Music. You can find me on
Apple Music.
Okay,
yeah, Apple Music.
Apple Music.
My debut single "Sovereign" is out there, and my most current single "Mighty and Great," which is the title track of my full debut project that's coming later on this year.
My brother, parenting in a pandemic and dropping music.
Congratulations!
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a group on Facebook, Quarantine Academy. So
I'm joining.
You can find me on there. It's where me and other parents and educators are given advice and just sharing information. And I would love to have all of you all in there, because I don't know. I was telling my children before we started, I don't know how Calvin picked me. Like, I was reading about y'all, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I need to make mine sound better. Like, they don't have some good information. So I'm just honored that Calvin picked me. Calvin, I mean, like you said, we've known each other over 25 years, and ever since I've known you, you've been a beast, always thinking of something, not only to make others great, but, to just give us an opportunity to share. And so I wholeheartedly appreciate you for that. And I love you dearly. And I just can't wait to see what you do next.
Thank you.
Can you give that group again?
Quarantine Academy.
Quarantine
I don't know if you
Academy.
can see it. Yep, I found it. Is this with the little babies in the picture at the top?
It has, yes, with the little Bitmoji classroom.
Yep, that's it.
That's it.
Join group.
And I just did.
Okay, I need some help.
On Facebook. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been this week's edition of Dialogues with Dr. Parenting in a Pandemic edition. Thank you so much to my guests, Ms. Shahinda Natawala, Mr. Marcus G. Morton, Mr. Ben James Brown, and Ms. Kim Strange for joining me. I will see you guys again next Wednesday, 8 p.m. Same bat time, same bat channel. Thank you guys again, and we are signing off. Y'all wave goodbye to the people.
Bye, guys.
Where'd it go? There it is.